Jai Jagannath, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Krishna. Here we are. We are continuing our study of Bhagavad Gita from my translation and commentary. The chapter is 11. We stopped at verse 40 last time. I salute you from the front and from the back. My homage to you from all sides. Your prowess is unlimited, and your deeds are without compare. You are encompassing everything, therefore you are everything. Okay, so this is, I think, a very important verse that explains a concept, presents a concept that is not present in any other religion. The idea that God is omnipresent, therefore He is everything, is a very existent Sat. This idea is originally from Hinduism only, from Bhagavad Gita, from the Vedic knowledge. The idea that God is omnipresent percolated only very recently, comparatively recently, into the other culture, specifically the Abrahamic cultures, but only in Christianity. Because there was a lot of theological studies in Christianity since the very beginning, and it went on and is still going on now. While in Judaism and Islam, they're not very concerned about what or who God is. In Christianity, you find some more effort to understand. So during the Hellenistic period, they got, it means like about the time, about 2,000 years ago, Christianity was starting and it came in contact with Hellenism, which was taking concepts from India. So this idea of omnipresence of God is coming from here, not from the Bible. Okay. And verse 41. Presumptuously thinking of you as a mere friend, I addressed you informally as Krishna, Yadava, my friend, because I was unaware of your glories. I have done so out of carelessness, but with love. Okay, this is a very interesting presentation of Yoga Maya. That is in a sense a form of illusion, but is a form of illusion that is based on love. And actually Krishna even likes it, because he prefers love to respect. God doesn't care so much for respect, but he is really, attracted by love, by bhakti. That is why Krishna said previously, if someone offers me a fruit, a fruit, a leaf, a little water, a flower, Bhatram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, but with love and affection, then he will accept. He's not talking about respect or, high standard of worship or complicated rituals. He's just talking about love, pure devotional attachment. So we see here that Arjuna shows a very intimate love towards Krishna, and he is more than a devotee. He is more than a friend. He is more because Arjuna, we know that he's a manifestation, an expansion of Shiva Mahadev. Let's see. And 42. O Achyuta, your greatness is inconceivable. Whatever impropriety I may have committed while joking, strolling together, lying down, sitting, or eating with you, alone or in the presence of others, I beg forgiveness. So, the name Achyuta means infallible, someone who will never fall, will never be degraded, will never become less than what he is. So Achyuta yat yachava avaha sartam, to have a laugh, because we also like to joke. Krishna likes to joke, definitely. And Krishna has a big sense of humor. And it's a very good thing, because we need God to have a sense of humor. Okay, whatever impropriety. This is an example of what the type of attitude we should have while we are offering worship. So there are some special mantras, some prayers to ask forgiveness for any impropriety that we may have committed during the worship of the service. Specifically, one of these famous prayers is mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janardana yad pujitam maya devam paripurnam tadastume yadatam bhakti matranapatram pushpam phalam toyam. So it's yome bhaktya prayachati. By remembering this instruction of Krishna, we continue to offer our devotional service, even if it's not perfect. So we know that in this material world, especially in Kali Yuga, our worship, our service in this world is not going to be perfect. But anyway, we are conscious about that. We ask forgiveness for any thing we may have done or failed to do, whether in the day or the night, because we know that we make a lot of mistakes. So we just make peace with it, and Krishna will not get angry. Okay. And 43. You are the Father of all beings, moving and non-moving. You are worthy of worship, as you are Guru, and even more glorious than Guru. There cannot be anyone equal or greater than you. How can anyone in all the three worlds compare with your power? Okay. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvamasya pujascha guru gariyan. Okay. Until now, everything clear, huh?
Yes.
If
Clear.
you
Just
want,
one thing you mentioned that Arjuna is expansion of Shiva. I don't know about that.
about what,
Can you
sorry?
elaborate more? You mentioned Arjuna is expansion of Shiva, right?
Oh, yes, right. Actually, this is a very common knowledge in Jagannath Puri,
Okay. I
that
was not aware. Can
the
you
Pancha
throw
Pandavas
some
are
light?
5 expansion of Shiva, which in turn Shiva is an expansion of Vishnu. So there are 5 main temples in Puri. The temple connected with Arjuna is Lokanath. The temple connected with Yudhishthira is Yameshwara, because we know that Yudhishthira is an expansion of Yama, is a son of Yama. Then we have the other three Pandavas. Each has a temple of Shiva dedicated to them, and when there is the Chandana Yatra, there are two boats in the Narendra Sarovara. For 21 days in Chandana Yatra, the deities go on a boat ride. So they have two boats. One is for Madan Mohan, Shudevi and Bhudevi, and the other one is for Ramakrishna and the Pancha Pandavas, the five forms of Shiva. The fact that the five Pandavas are emanations, avatars, manifestations of Shiva is another factor, another example of the Leelas in which Vishnu and Shiva are actually coming, always and in different manifestations. The Shiva, we have to understand that the personalities of God are not limited by individuality. So the spiritual body is not limited by time, space, and individuality. So we can have different forms of Shiva in many roles, even at the same time. And in the same way, there are different forms of Vishnu at the same time and with different functions. Like, for example, we see then when Krishna and Arjuna they go to find the sons of the Brahmana who was losing all the children as soon as they were born. So they go and meet Narayana. So Narayana Rishi. So it's practically speaking, Arjuna is Nara and Krishna is Narayana. The personality of Shiva, by the way, tomorrow is Shivaratri. So maybe we can, meditate a little bit on this. The personality of Shiva is the manifestation of Vishnu in this material world. So Shiva is the bridge between the Jiva and Vishnu. In fact, we have the Vishnu Tattva, the Shiva Tattva, and the Jiva Tattva, the three different. And in this particular position of Shiva Tattva, Shiva is acting as the guru of everyone. So, as the guru, the Supreme Guru, he is serving the Vishnu, is serving Vishnu. So Shiva manifests as Sankarsana, which is the throne, the sitting place, the asana, the bed, the umbrella, the shoes for Vishnu. And he manifests also as Balaram. So in manifesting as Balaram, he is assisting the Leelas of Krishna. In the same way, he manifests as Lakshman and at the same time as Hanuman. Lakshman is the elder brother. Why Shiva is the elder brother of the avatar of Vishnu? Because he, as an avatar of Vishnu, Shiva appeared in the beginning of creation, therefore is elder, is older than any of the other avatars of Vishnu. So he plays the part of the elder brother, assistant, servant, servant in a positive manner, out of love and affection. So we see Shiva worshipping Vishnu, and then we see Rama worshipping Shiva, and Krishna also worshipping Shiva. And on the chariot of Arjuna, we see there is the flag of Hanuman. This means Arjuna is non different from Hanuman. And he has a very close, intimate relationship with Krishna. They're the two friends. The two, Krishna and Arjuna are the real protagonists of the Mahabharata. So the other Pandavas, even the elder ones like Yudhishthira and Bhima, are also important, but Arjuna is more important in the story, because he's the one who goes and wins Draupadi. He's always with Krishna. That's why he is saying that he consider him as a friend. And in fact, they are about the same age. So they are connected very, very strictly. Is that answering your question?
Yes.
Okay. So we go on with the prayers of Arjuna to another interesting thing in the Mahabharata. Bhishma gives speaks the 1,000 names of Vishnu, the Vishnu Sahasranam, and Krishna speaks the 1,000 names of Shiva. So the relationship is always very, very, very strict, very close. Okay. Verse 43. You are the Father of all beings, moving and non-moving. You are worthy of worship as your Guru, and even more glorious than Guru. There cannot be anyone equal or greater than you. How can anyone in all the three worlds compare with your power? Okay, let's go next. 44. For that I offer my humblest respect, throwing myself at your feet and seeking your mercy. O Lord, you are worthy of being worshipped. Please bear with me, like a father is tolerant with his son, a friend with a friend, and a lover to the beloved. It's very good because it's showing the rasas, showing how Krishna is attracted by love in so many different forms. "45. Contemplating this extraordinary form, my mind is thrilled with joy and shaken with fear at the same time. O Lord of the Devas, abode of the universe, please let me see the form of God." Okay, that was already the form of God, but what he means. He's going to explain in 46. "O Vishwamurti, who have thousands of arms, I wish you to be the four-armed form, holding the disc as the mace in your hands, and wearing a crown. I wish to see you in that form," means the form of Vishnu. "47. The wonderful Lord said, to make you happy, I am now showing you the supreme form, made of splendor, manifested by my own Yoga Shakti, unlimited and primeval like the universe, that nobody has seen before you." Okay. Nobody has seen before you is because the form of Vishnu is, especially in this universe, is always expanding, always manifesting. It's Navayovana. Of course, lots of people have seen the form of Vishnu before. Dhruva, uh, you know, the last, we see in the Puranas, we have also other people like Narada, for example, So, but the form of Vishnu is always new. It's always refreshing. So it's like the water of a river. There is a saying that you cannot enter the same water in the river twice. Because the water is always moving, it's always refreshed, renewed, and it's never the same water. But the river is a sum total of all the water. I don't know if this can help understanding the point.
Yes, sir. It is
Okay,
clear.
perfect.
One thing, this universal form, like before Bhagavad Gita, whether any other text mentions of it, like somebody seen this form in any other
That
Purana or
I remember, the Krishna has shown the universal form to Yashodama and to Duryodhana.
Mhm.
I don't remember um, other examples in the Puranas, but probably, because there's no particular restriction. God can show the universal form because the universal form is visible. We can actually see it. We just have to contemplate the universe. That's a universal form, but okay, not exactly in that way. Okay, manifested by my own yoga, my own Shakti. That's important. The Shakti Tattva, without the Shakti Tattva, God would not have any form. Okay. 48. O greatest among the Kuru warriors, I have allowed no other human being except you to see this form. One cannot see it by the performance of Vedic sacrifice, or by the study of the scriptures, or as the result of giving charity, engaging in yoga kriyas or sadhana, or even engaging in great austerities. Krishna is saying, again, he has not allowed any other human being except Arjuna to see the form of Vishnu. We know that it's not, it's not that nobody has seen the form of Vishnu in among human beings. Because not only Dhruva and Narada, Yashoda and Duryodhana, but now I remember even Daksha during all the maybe he's talking about human beings, but it's a little it's just like when we say that the devas are immortal. It's actually the devas also die, but compared to the lifespan of an ordinary human being, they're practically immortal. And the position is also immortal, because even when this batch of devas and rishis and everyone has changed, a new batch will come, but the position will also always be the same. So I tend to interpret this as, as I said before, you cannot enter the same waters twice. So it's always changing, always in expansion, manifestation. So the same for universal form and for Vishnu. But what is saying that one cannot see
talking
this.
about the universal form or the 400 Vishnu form? When he's
Sorry?
saying this, like the previous verse and this verse, Krishna is talking about the universal form or the
No, he's
400
talking
form.
about Vishnu for Chaturbhuja.
Okay.
Chaturbahu, sorry, Chaturbahu, the four-armed Vishnu form. Okay. And he's saying that one cannot see it by ritualistic, uh, like material punya. How one can see it? Only by bhakti. Here, 49. Look at this form of mind, and let your mind become satisfied and free from fear. Do not be perturbed and confused by the vision of my terrifying form. So forget the universal form, focus on Vishnu here. Okay. Now, for 50. Sanjaya said, thus speaking to Arjuna, Vasudeva manifested again his original form, comforting and relieving him from all fears. The great Atman again appeared in his sweetest body. Okay. Then 51. Arjuna said, O Janardana, by seeing this human-like form of yours that is so sweet, I am now pacified, and my consciousness has returned to its natural state. "52. The wonderful Lord said, this form that you are contemplating is extremely difficult to see. Even the devas always aspire to obtain its darshan. So, why it's so difficult to see? Because the people who have a materialistic mind, they only see something that looks like a material form. So they cannot understand that that is God. "53. One cannot see it in this way as you are contemplating it, not even by the study of the Vedas or through austerities or charity or the performance or ritual worship. And here, 54. Arjuna, only through bhakti it is possible to know and to see me truly, and to enter into me. That's another interesting verse, because praveshtum, to enter. Of course, you cannot enter the form of Vishnu or Krishna in a material sense. Means Krishna is not going to eat you, But the point is that the body of Vishnu, body of God, is not limited by material considerations, by material rules. So when we actually realize God, we enter into that consciousness. It means that we realize that we are already a part of God's body. So we enter into that consciousness. So many people speak about Krishna consciousness, and they have this kind of idea that Krishna consciousness means that you know that there is Krishna. There is someone, God is, called Krishna, and he's blue or black or whatever. But that's not Krishna consciousness. The actual Krishna consciousness or Krishna Chaitanya is to enter, praveshtum. Praveshtum means to enter, to become one with God. We have to do that first by attaining the realization of transcendence, Brahman. Then we become more absorbed through the realization of Paramatma, and finally, at that point, after that realization has become normal for us, we can attain the realization of Bhagavan. Therefore, we enter into Krishna in this sense. So there are other verses in Bhagavad Gita indicating the same point, and instead of praveshtum, it is vishanti. Vishanti also means entering. They enter, vishanti. Praveshtum is the to enter, and vishanti means they enter. Grammar. Okay, 55. Everything clear, huh?
Yes.
Good. 55. My devotee is engaged in working for me and sees me as the supreme reality. He has abandoned all association, affiliation, identification with Sangha. Sangha Varjita. All contacts, all association, all affiliation, all identification. Okay? Sangha Varjita. And has no enmity towards any being. That is also interesting. Nirvaira. When someone thinks they're doing a service to Krishna by killing dissenters, by killing infidels, or by doing adharmic actions, we're being hostile and enemy towards other people, not because the other people are aggressors, but because they are not they are considered as others. We and them, us and them, we and they, us and them. It's a real devotee must give up completely this mentality. Okay. In this way, my devotee comes to me, O son of Pandu. Is this clear enough, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
No doubt. Okay.
Mhm.
And we come to the Jews. Chapter 12. So, verse 55 was the last one in chapter 11. And now we have chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. The yoga of devotion. So, Krishna has already spoken about bhakti. And now we are getting into deeper waters. So, beginning of the chapter, Arjuna says, the devotees worship you in complete dedication, while others meditate on the non-manifested eternal reality. Which of these two approaches is the highest understanding of yoga? This is interesting because there are lots of people who misinterpret the concept of Nirguna Brahman. And and they think that the Saguna Brahman is Vishnu, and the Bhakti and everything. While the Nirguna Brahman is the Brahman, non-manifested Brahman. Now the problem is what they don't understand is when these two attributes as Saguna and Nirguna refer to the distinction between the material gunas and the spiritual gunas. So Brahman is nirguna in the sense that is not subject to the material gunas, while the Virat Rupa is actually permeated by the material gunas. The Vishwarupa contains all the material manifestations, and all the material manifestations come to being through the three gunas of the material nature. So we have the Vishwarupa that is Saguna in the sense of material elements. Then we have the Brahman who is free from the material gunas. And then we have a transcendental Saguna that is the variety of spiritual manifestation that is not subject to the material gunas, but is manifested by the spiritual gunas, the spiritual qualities. What are the material gunas and the spiritual gunas? We have mentioned before that the material gunas are sattva, rajas, tamas, and the spiritual gunas sat, chit, ananda. So they are both gunas, but not the same type of gunas. So some people are confused because they think that they have to go beyond bhakti in order to realize the real Brahman that is non-manifested. And unfortunately, some of the followers of Adi Shankar in more recent times have encouraged this idea. But this is not the proper understanding. I remember I had one study group of Italian people who were doing the study of Bhagavad Gita, and they wanted to call the group Advaita. So, the leader of the group kept saying, oh, Nirguna, we have to overcome Saguna to get to Nirguna. And so I said, okay, yeah, well, not exactly. Then I led them up to, chapter 12, and they were completely confused. And they started to realize that their ideas on Brahman, Saguna, Nirguna were completely, wrong, distorted. So what is Bhagavad Gita saying? And Adi Shankar had the greatest respect and admiration for Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhaja Govindan song, he says that even studying a little bit of Bhagavad Gita is going to give us the greatest benefit. So, of course, Adi Shankar approved what Krishna says. So let's see what Krishna says. Okay. So Arjuna said, the devotees worship you with complete dedication, while others meditate on non-manifested eternal reality. Which of these two approaches is the highest understanding of yoga? And here it comes. The wonderful Lord said, those who are always keeping their mind in me and worship me with faith, always united with me, have attained the supreme level. And I consider them as the most intimately or connected or highly united or connected. Yoga. This is the idea of yoga. Yukta. Yukta tamo mataha. Te me yukta tama mataha. Okay. And 3. Those who offer their worship in complete dedication, correctly, means okay. Pari upasate. Pari upasate means worship perfectly. No, and perfectly means in complete dedication, correctly, sincerely, and everything. To the Akshara, Brahman, Omkara, which is indescribable, non-manifested, all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, never-moving, and eternal existence. They can attain me if they strictly control their senses and remain balanced and undisturbed in all circumstances, and especially if they are sincerely interested in the benefit of all beings. So, this is very clear. It says that one cannot attain God by being selfish, by, showing or believing simply that they are on a higher position, so they don't need to be compassionate because they're transcendental. It's not a fact. So if we see someone who don't remain balanced in all circumstances and who are careless or even cruel towards the beings, the living entities, that means that they are not in a good position. Verse 8. Embodied beings find much more difficult and painful to make progress if they remain mentally attached to the non-manifested. Six. But those who have surrendered all their activities to me and are dedicated to me without any other attachment certainly worship me through the meditation in yoga. So, this is Ahankara and Mamatva have gone out of the out of the window. 7. O son of Pritha, for those who keep their consciousness in me, I soon appear to uplift them from the ocean of repeated deaths. 8. Keep your mind focused on me and apply your intelligence accordingly. In this way, you will always reside in me, and thus you'll be elevated. There is no doubt about this. Niveshaya. Niveshaya means always Nivaishyasi. Niveshaya, okay, Nivasyasi. Nivasi Yasi. Okay. Nivasi Syasi. Okay, so I did it. Okay. We will always live and remain. So it means we enter in God and we remain there. Okay, God consciousness. 9. However, O Dhananjaya, if you are unable to firmly establish your consciousness in me, then you should practice yoga with the desire to achieve me. Okay, of course, this is not the yoga Baba Ramdev. This is the actual yoga. Sadhana. Then we have 10. If you are unable to practice... You saying something? No.
No.
Okay. If you are unable to practice regulated meditation, means sadhana bhakti, then dedicate your life to me and work for me, means karma yoga. In this way, you will achieve perfection even while performing your normal activities. Means one doesn't need to leave the Varna Ashrama rules. One can do their own work in a spiritual consciousness, in a spirit of service to the universal body of God.
One thing here, when Krishna is saying work for me, so sometimes it is interpreted as work for some particular organization or what.
Yeah.
So clarify that.
Yeah, that's a very important point to clarify. The point is that the organization is not God. The organization is not Krishna. The point is that we should work in a spirit of service to God. We can be in an organization or outside an organization, or we can make our own organization, or no organization at all. But still, Krishna doesn't depend, God doesn't depend on anything else. Our relationship is with Krishna, with God, not with the organization. The organization is just a vehicle. If the vehicle is working, okay, good. If the vehicle is not working, we get out of the vehicle and we walk. We don't need a vehicle, if we can organize a vehicle that works properly, that goes in the right direction, so much the better, because it helps the focusing. Like, for example, if we had an organization that could employ devotees and give them full maintenance and housing and food and school and medical care and clothing and everything, devotees would love to work for such an organization. But the work they do should be focused on God's service, not on the service of this guy, the other guy, or someone else. Because otherwise you're not devotee of Krishna anymore. You're devotee of the organization or this guru or the other, the other guy or whatever. Is that clear?
Yeah.
I had
But
one.
here, like Krishna also means when he's saying like doing your normal duty, so you can whatever you are doing, like your normal activities as in your
Exactly.
job,
Yad karoshi
you can
yadashnasi
dedicate.
yad juhosi dadasiya. Means whatever you do, you don't need to be a member of any organization. You don't need to do service in the temple. You can do your professional duties, your family duties, your social duties, and still do it for God, for Krishna, because you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing for the benefit of everyone. This is why in the Vedic society, the only ones that were getting a salary, were getting paid for their work, were the Shudras. Everybody else worked for free because that was their duty. Is the mother taking care of the children or the house or the family for a salary? No, because it's her duty. So the Brahmana is not supposed to ask for fees for teaching, because that's his duty. Of course, he is asking. He has the provision that he can ask for donations, for dakshina, like that. But that's not connected to the service that he is doing. That's not a payment. That's not a fee. That's not a salary. Because a Brahmana who takes a salary from an employer is a dog, becomes a dog. Because if the Brahmana does something for money, that he will do whatever the employer will want him to do. And it's so easy to fall from dharma, satya, and everything. If the guy, the one, your customer is not happy with what you're giving. You see today in today's society, the intellectuals, the brahmanas, those who are supposed to be brahmanas, are serving government organizations, private sector, public sector, whatever. And what is the result? They compromise. They treat knowledge as a prostitute. They sell knowledge. They treat knowledge, Mother Saraswati, as a prostitute. And this is very clearly mentioned in Bhagavata Purana, in the I think it's 11th or 12th canto, when 12th canto, when Parikshit is hearing from Sukadeva the symptoms of the Kali, the age of Kali, Kali Yuga. And Sukadeva says that in Kali Yuga the Brahmanas will treat Mother Saraswati as a prostitute. They will be pimps. They will sell the knowledge. And of course, a prostitute has to dress in the way that the customer likes. So this is a big problem. Brahmanas should never accept a salary. They should only accept donations and you know, without maintaining any loyalty to anyone, especially not the Kshatriyas. This is when the caste system became confused. From Varna it fell into the caste system because the Huns, the Shakas who came to India in the beginning of this era, had a kind of Parsi mentality, where the highest position in society was the family of the king. And their idea of Brahmanas were not actually Brahmanas, they were bards or court poets. And the job of the bard, of the court poet, is to glorify the king, not to give instruction to the king. So you see how easily it can become degraded. The Brahmanas become politicized, they become politicians. And that's the disaster. Because if the Brahmanas don't uphold Satyam, what are they doing? They're destroying Dharma. You see the difference? So the same thing when you have a big organization, an organization that becomes big enough, the material power of the organization in the shape of number of followers, properties like temples, ashrams, real estate, money, donation, regular contributions, whatever money comes in, wealth, So these are all, they all become bigger and bigger, and when they're big enough, the organization attracts corrupt people. When corrupt people enter the organization, they want to take over the control over the organization. So what happens is that the entire thing becomes spoiled and poisoned by politics, because material power means politics. What is politics about? Only about material power. So the Brahmanas are never supposed to have any material power over the people, over the population. They advise the kings, they teach to anyone they want to teach, it's their full responsibility. And that's all they do. They study and they teach, they receive donation, they distribute donation, they perform rituals for themselves and perform rituals for other people. They don't tell people what to do. They don't enforce legislation. They don't have the morality police. They don't have any influence on society. They're just completely independent. They just sit in their gurukul and teach. Anyone wants to learn, they will decide. Now, the present day school teachers are not Brahmanas. Just like the present day policemen are not Kshatriyas. Because neither the school teachers nor the policemen have any responsibility. They don't have any power, means responsibility. Maybe they can show they have the power, but because they don't have a responsibility, it's not a real power. It's just oppression, it's just arrogance. It's just mistreatment of the people. But the Brahmana is never taking orders from anyone, and the Kshatriya is never taking orders from anyone. You understand the difference?
Yes.
So this also happens in connection with organizations. When you belong to an organization, in the sense that the organization becomes God, then you have to obey the organization. even if the orders are bad. Just like the school teachers and the policemen, have to follow the orders they get, even if the orders are bad. So, with the continued degradation of these highest position, apparent brahmanas and apparent kshatriyas, the entire society goes to hell. Because the teachers and the warriors or government people have no responsibility. So they're just exploiting and looting and mistreating and doing horrible things to the prajas. And this is another symptom of the Kali Yuga, both explained to Parikshit by Sukadeva Goswami in the 12th canto, and even shown in the first canto when Maharaj Parikshit had first met the Kali Purusha. So the Kali Purusha was a Shudra dressed as a king, and he was breaking the legs of Dharma. Only Satyam was still standing, but still, this Kali Purusha was breaking the last leg of Dharma, Satyam. What does that mean? It means that the Kshatriyas are not Kshatriyas. They're just, unqualified, they're just Shudras. They want money, they want to exploit the people. They think that the prajas are their property to do whatever they want with them. Like, for example, we can mention we are already out of time. Okay, we can mention the British government, for example, in the Middle Ages, coming to the colonial era, colonial age. The government, the British government was treating even the British people, British citizens, horribly. Like, for example, when they needed to have a crew for a ship, for some, their fleet, they wanted people to work on a ship. What did they do? They just went and picked up whoever they wanted. They took them away from their house and they put them on the ship. That is called Shanghaied, railroaded, They have absolutely no consideration of human rights. So it's not that the British government was only mistreating Indian people. Mistreating everyone, including the British people. So, okay, I think we can go on next time, because we already
Yes.
had more than 1 hour. So, is that okay? You want to say something?
No, no. This next set of verses, I always had confusion. Here, like Krishna is giving sequence with meditating on him, then practice of yoga, then karma, and then sacrificing the results. But in the subsequent verse, he says that sacrificing results is much better than others. So I don't know. Maybe we can discuss next time when
Yeah, we'll
that verse
discuss
will
next
come
time.
up.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Jai
Okay.
Jagannath.
Thank you.
Jai Radhe Radhe.
Jai Jai Jai. Radhe.